Hello again, folks. This is going to be my second Repairer Colleagues Tech video this evening, and this time it's this, we get it to focus, Samsung Galaxy S4, and this particular one was provided to one of my colleagues' daughters as a warranty replacement from 3 here in the UK. Not warranty replacement, insurance replacement. And I've tried to pick up my camera, it's actually off just now, but there's a very, very thin, at the very top of the screen there's a couple of random green pixels, but nothing's coming on the screen. The phone powers on, makes the noises, vibrates, but there's basically a really thin, let's say, a couple of dots, green pixels at the top. Now, as it's a insurance replacement, quite often what happens is if you drop your phone, smash it, you send it in to your insurance company or service provider. What they do is go, right, thanks very much, we'll put that to one side, we'll fix it when we get a chance. Here's one that somebody's already smashed, which we've repaired, and then send it back out to you. So when they get round to fixing this one, they put a new screen on it and it's in the good stock, so when somebody sends another smash phone in, this one goes out to that person, and so on and so forth. So, you know, essentially, although not always the case, depending how badly smashed up they are, it potentially could be the first person that gets a warranty insurance replacement, gets a new phone, and everybody subsequently after that gets a repaired phone. You know, that's just my thinking. Anyway, so there's potential that this is one of these repaired phones, and I'm hoping that it's basically just the LCD connector that hasn't been seated correctly. But the Galaxy S4 is quite an easy phone to work on. There's just 8 screws, PH00s, and all we need to do is take out all the visible screws. Let's say there's 8 of them, and then we just can remove the plastic from the LCD. It's probably best to remove the battery. Yeah, these are, let's say, these are quite easy to work on in terms of getting into them. The Galaxy S5s and onwards are obviously more difficult because they are waterproofed versions, and the front screen is actually bonded to the sort of subframe. So as a hobbyist electronics person or phone repairer, you know, unless you've got specialist equipment, just don't even attempt to get in there. Okay, so that's our screws out, all 8 of them. Just double check that, yep. And then all we're going to use is a little pry tool or a spudger, whatever you want to call it. And then we can see there's the plastic's subframe, and then the actual screen itself. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go in start from the bottom, and just, as you see, when I apply some pressure, the back bezel just pops off. Like so. So just follow it round. Just be careful when you get to the headphone jack, because it's sometimes a bit troublesome. And the bottom, like so. And just take care, obviously, especially if you're using a metal one like me, that you don't damage the actual silver plated part around the what do you call it, yeah, the screen. So here we go, there's it inside the back. I'll point out the various bits. Obviously we've got a headphone jack there, infrared for a remote control, the camera, and proximity sensors. We've got our SIM card and memory card slot. This lead here goes attaches the touch buttons and USB, etc. And up here is our LCD. Right, and I think I can see the problem. I don't know how well that'll focus, but that connector is horrifically corroded. Can you see that? Just about the tip of the screwdriver, there's a black mark, and on there as well. Okay, so we've identified, I think, probably what's causing the problem. So the next thing to do is get our own fend isopropyl alcohol and a paintbrush. You've seen me using paintbrushes before, and all I'm going to do is shake off the excess. So I'm just using this little alcohol pump, and then holding the bristles quite near the top, and just fold that down. Just gently brush that away, and obviously we're going to want to do both sides. So the PCB itself and the connector for the LCD. Yeah, that's really dirty. So you can be quite rough with this. I mean, don't treat it with kid gloves, but then again, don't apply lots of pressure, because obviously we don't want to knock any of the contacts out of alignment. But yeah, that should suffice. Now, if there has been corrosion on there for a little while, the chances are, you know, it may have taken the gold plating off, but you should be able to see that is much better. There's still a little bit on the bottom there, but the actual sort of contact itself, which is it's quite difficult to show you on here, but you can see the dark line in the middle. Those are essentially two sockets, and you can see on here the dark line, that's the male part, if you like. So there's two lines or two rows of contacts which go either side of that dark line. So yeah, just give it a quick blow and get some of the excess off. And because it's alcohol, it evaporates really quickly, but we can accelerate that just using a heat gun on a low heat. That's set to about 100, 150, so just a quick blast on that at a low speed as well. And you can see that is visibly dry. So to obviously refit that, and we'll just check everything else is in place. She did comment that she didn't get very good signal as well, so I'm just looking on the rear connectors, and they look reasonably clean, and obviously those just marry up with the little metal contacts just in the top right there, and those two squares down that side. And what I'll do just while I'm here is I'll just those do look a little bit corroded, so I'll just give it a little bit of a scrape. Nothing too excessive, just enough to get that oxidization off. And if you can see, if I just angle this towards the light, you can see that these two connectors here now for the antenna, the right one is visibly shiny and this one's quite dull. So if again, just go over that again. So I'm wondering if this has had an element of water damage at some point, and it's just not been correctly repaired when it's been in. Yeah, so now you can see they're equally shiny, which will give a better contact when the buzzer's on. So we'll just put this down now. Now, easiest way to do that is just apply gentle pressure and almost like rub your thumb around, and eventually it will it won't move, and then just press down. And if you hear it snap, oh, in fact that one didn't snap, but yeah, I felt it pop in there nice and securely, and yeah, that's not going to come off. And then to put it back together, it's just the reverse of what we did. So just pop the sides, pop it on, pop all the clips in, make sure it looks nice and flush. You can see there's a sort of gap there, and then you just need a little bit more pressure, and that clips in nice, and it's nice and flush. And we'll just go around that all the way, make sure it's nice and secure all the way around. That should do the trick. And then we'll replace the screws. There's something else that hints toward this being a repaired phone, is the fact that these screws don't have any blue Loctite. Samsung generally have blue sort of Loctite thread lock on these to prevent the screws from vibrating out over time, and that isn't present on any of these screws, so potentially that it has been a replaced screen. Okay, so we just want to nip these up a bit. Now, obviously, you can take a phone to your local phone repair shop or get it sent away. But for something like that, it's always worth, especially on the Galaxies, where there's no actual visible warranty stickers or anything like that. It's sometimes worth just having a go yourself, as long as you take care not to damage it whilst you're opening it. They'll not know you've been inside it. And clearly it will charge you, it will cost you an awful lot less, maybe even nothing at all. The screen replacements on these are quite good as well. To do a screen replacement, I had my original S4 when it at launch, and within 2 weeks I dropped it and had to buy a replacement screen. And at the time, because it was a brand new phone and I wanted genuine parts, it cost me £160–170 for the screen assembly. So yeah, nowadays you get them a bit cheaper, and it is a very, very easy repair. At least 20 times easier than an iPhone, if you've ever replaced an iPhone screen. Of course, iPhone screens are mass produced now and you can get them mega cheap, but they're never as good as the original. That's why I always, dependent on cost, I'll always try and get an original spare if I can. So that's it cleaned, and we'll see if it powers on. Job done. Happy days. Really easy repair there on the Galaxy S4 or the GTI 9505 if you prefer. Hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please give us a thumbs up, and if you feel so inclined to do so, please subscribe, and we'll see you again soon for another video. Take care of yourselves. See you soon. Bye bye.